Okay, Passerians, welcome to the video on the sum and difference formulas. In our textbook, it is 5.4. We're talking about sum and difference. These formulas you should have at this point somewhere on a formula sheet, a big page with a bunch of formulas. But just in case you don't have them, you could always pause the video and take a look at these formulas, the sum and difference formulas. So just take a moment if you, take a moment to locate these formulas, take a moment to take a photo of this so you have it. Make sure you have these formulas in front of you. You most likely will not need to memorize these formulas if you're in my class. And in 2025, you don't need to, so that's exciting. So these are on the formula sheet that you got earlier, hopefully. So let's just go to evaluating a trig function, example 1. And we want to try to find the value of sine of pi over 12. Let's talk about how we're going to get there. So what we need to do is we need to decide what two things that we know we need to find two things that either add to pi over 12 or they subtract to pi over 12. Okay? So we need to find something that adds to pi over 12 or something that subtracts to pi over 12. Can you tell me any values of sine that would get you pi over 12? So we want to get 1/12 after. So would that be, here's our our word bank, right? Our word bank, if you want to call it that. They're not words, but that's okay. We're talking about pi and pi over 2 and pi over 3 and pi over 4. These are all the ones that we know and love, right? Pi over 6. How are we going to get pi over 12? Say that again? Pi over 6 is going to be relevant. Okay. Pi over 6 twice? Pi over 6 plus pi over 6? I feel that is a problem because that's going to give you, right, pi over 6 plus pi over 6 is 2 pi over 6. Which is pi over 3.
Mr. Passerian.
Yes?
Can you do like pi over 24?
Yes, you could. Do you want to do that to make it simpler? It might be a good idea. So why don't we do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to change this instead? Let's just think about what we should do. Should we make this 2 pi over 12 so we can kind of like visualize it better? Should we make this 3 pi over 12 so we can just kind of see it?
Wait, because realistically now I think...
Oh, wait a minute. Right away. If that's 3 pi over 12, which it is, and that's 2 pi over 12, that's a good thing. We can subtract them.
That's cheeky.
So what I'm saying is that I'm going to go back to purple. Pi over 4 minus pi over 6. Okay? Is this okay? Because generations of students are going to watch this, and if I made no sense, I gotta know. Generations. Decades. This thing will probably be watched for hundreds of years. I know. So save those guys some frustration. So I just changed them to 12s, right? Yeah, the Passerians will live on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do pi over 4 minus pi over 6 equals pi over 12. We need the formula. Let's pull that formula. Is it going to be sine of u minus v? Does that make sense? So kind of like these were inside of the sine, agreed? So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of our word bank for a second. As you do more of these, of course, they'll become a little more obvious. So we need to figure out if this is sine of u minus v. What's u? U is pi over 4, and v is pi over 6. Okay. Now you're looking at your formula sheet because you know that you will get that. Sine of u over v, u minus v, is sine of u. This is the formula right here. This is the formula. Is sine of u times cosine of v minus, they switched the cosine and the sine, but I don't really like that. I'd rather do sine of v minus cosine u. Do you care? Who cares? Sine of v minus cosine of u. I like the order to be like that. So let's start working this and figuring out what's happening here. So this green thing is going to be the answer. The answer is going to be sine of something times cosine of something minus sine of that other thing times cosine of that other thing. Let's talk about what I'm talking about here. So what was u? Let's just color code. U was pi over 4. So would this be pi over 4? And then this would be pi over 4? And then with this, oops, did I put a minus here? Did I put an accidental minus right here? I think I did. This is a times, right? Sorry about that. Okay, and now we need to see where this guy is, v pi over 6. I think once you see it like a couple times, you'll be like, okay, I'm trying to like explain it and I'm putting more into it, but in some ways, you just got to find two things that either add or subtract, and then you just follow the formula. Okay? So this is now 4 trig values that we can figure out with our brains. So sine of pi over 4, just tell me what it is. Root 2 over 2. Am I right? Okay. Cosine of pi over 6, we have to multiply by that. Cosine of pi over 6, that's the tiny angle. That's root 3 over 2, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the formula had a subtract in it. Sine of pi over 6, that must be a half. So this guy's a half. And cosine of pi over 4 is again root 2 over 2. So this is your answer. You just need to simplify it down. So I guess you'll have the square root of 6 over 2 minus the square root of 2 over 2, which I guess you'll have the square root of 6. You can't subtract these, you know. You've got to leave it like that over 2. This should be your answer. So the question is, if you do have a calculator, because in class we just did something with a calculator, could you find this with your calculator? And then could you find this with your calculator and make sure that they are the same? So maybe left side of the class, you're going to figure out the purple one. Can you type that into your calculator? And right side of the class, can you figure out the black circle there? Type that into your calculator. A couple people help me out with that. Yes. What do they have? X and Y? A and B.
Or is root 6.
A and B. Oh, yeah. In that case, yeah. We're doing something.
It's over 4.
Right, over 4. So I used what? Yeah, top one. And I don't like that they do sine times cosine. Sine 4 just bothers me. I go sine times cosine over sine cosine, but I just maybe.
I don't know why mine is
Why would it? Wait.
Okay. Yes.
What did the denominator change?
Isn't it over 4?
If it's root 6 minus.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay, 4 and 4. So whatever your answer was, you cut that in half. Hopefully it's right. What'd you get for the black circle? Anybody? Black circle?
2.125.
Are you purple circle?
Purple circle 0.25.
0.25?
I'm not sure about it. I did sine of pi over 12.
Yeah.
0.25.
Purple circle.
So that's what we get for sine of pi over 12. That was in radians. That was in radians. Are we okay, or should I do it? Should I just do it? May I borrow your calculator?
I got 0.25.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Okay, so I am going to type in the calculator. So if you're watching the video, sorry, I'm just typing in the calculator. So I'm going to mode. I'm making sure it's in radians. It is. I'm typing in sine of second pi over 12, and that is 0.25. I guess if we want an extra digit, we'll have 0.259. That's what this gave me. Now I'm going to clear that. I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to use parentheses maybe, or I'll do alpha x, and I'll do the square root of 6 minus the square root of 2 all over 4, and that gives me 0.259. So you will get the exact same answer. You found the exact answer using the sum and difference formula. So on your paper, hopefully, you have a checkpoint. So could you please try that? Notice that on your formula sheet, you may have different variables than u's and v's. You may have a's and b's, and that's okay. That's okay. So the textbook uses u's and v's, and the packet that we've been following uses a's and b's. So pause the video and give this a try. Okay, so as you have tried this, hopefully you came out to this. And can I ask what the decimal for this is? Root 6 plus root 2 over 4? 0.966. So that's what we want to come out to. Of course, when we type this in, we should obviously get 0.966. But you're coming out to this. I'm going to skip going over that. Just follow the formula, okay? Sorry for the formula discrepancy. Okay, you got to change your calculator to degrees because we see a degree. Everybody change their calculators to degrees. Go to mode, go down, and change it to degrees. How do you want to get cosine of 75? I think there's a few ways you could get it, but I'd like to use the sum if we could. So let's use it. Let's use the sum just because we haven't used the sum yet. Sum, please. What two things will add to 75? What you want to try? Let's use 45 and 30. Okay. And again, that's either your A or your U, whatever you want to use, or your B and your V. Doesn't matter. Sorry about that. It's just how it goes. They always use different variables depending on the source you go to. Okay, so we're doing a sum here. This should be a plus. I guess we're having some issues with the capture here. And that means that we just need to look up that sum formula. So I'll write out the sum formula because I'm doing a screen capture, but you will hopefully have the sum formula in front of you. So I see that the sum formula for cosine is cosine of A, cosine of B, minus sine of A, sine of B. So I'll just write that real quick. Cosine of the first one, cosine of the second one, minus sine of the first one, sine of the second one. So not really that bad. Verifying that we're right here. Yep. And we're good. And that's a sum. Weird that the sum formula has a minus in it, right? Just noting that. Just a quick little call out on that. So the cosine ones seem to be a little bit backwards. The signs are backwards, but the sine ones are what you would expect. So all you need to do is you need to figure out cosine of 45, cosine of 30, minus sine of 45, sine of 30. Okay, let's figure them all out. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2.
Root 6 plus root 2.
Cosine of 30, that is a small angle. That is root 3 over 2. We won't mess this up. We'll make sure that denominator gets multiplied this time. Minus sine of 45, root 2 over 2. And what color have I not used? Blue. Sine of 30. That's going to be multiplied. Sine of 30, just a half, yeah? So now this answer is going to be square root of 6 over 4. We messed that up earlier, sorry. Square root of 2 over 4. So square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4. That's our answer. Should come up to a decimal. Square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4. You could probably leave it not as a decimal, but the reason we get a decimal is so that we can check our work by just typing cosine 75 enter, right? That is it. We're going to try to wrap it up. We don't want to do too much today. We don't want to strain ourselves. Keep those brains well rested. Try to pause the video and try this checkpoint, the exact value of sine of 75. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.